Frugal Force. This is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for another episode of Road Rage. For those of you that don't know, Road Rage is just pretty much off-the-cuff discussions that I have during my road driving rage. And the reason I say rage is the road, I tend to have bad luck. Other drivers and things sometimes aggravate me. I don't know what it is. So you get me, it's very raw. I'll put it that way. I'm normally a very calm guy, and I still am. It's just, that's where you can see some of my rage come out, is in my driving. So anyway, if you like these videos, please be sure to hit like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. So today, I want to talk about another comic book series from the past. And it's Red Hulk. For those who don't know me, I tend to like to buy complete comic book runs for cheap when I can find that way, or large lots of them. And so anyway, let me go back a little history. I did a lot of mail order, quite a few years ago. I'd say probably 15 years ago, 10, maybe as much as 10 years ago. I would still have some comic books, monthly subscriptions coming to my house. I stopped doing that eventually because the condition they were coming in just was not good. And I don't want my comic books folded and bent in half. And they were getting really pretty crappy condition at that point. And I wasn't happy with that. So I stopped with that. But anyway, during the time I was getting them that way, one of them I was getting was Incredible Hulk. I would also get Iron Man sometimes. I would always get the Avengers, and my wife was getting Spider-Man. And then we'd have a pull list to the comic shop too.
Turn right.
There's my GPS reminding me to turn. So anyway, I was getting the Hulk, and then they decided they were going to change the Hulk. They shifted the Hulk series. They stopped it as it was and went into the Red Hulk. And so my subscription stopped with the one. They automatically started me on the Red Hulk. And I got a couple issues of that, and then I canceled it because I really wasn't interested at the time of getting the Red Hulk. I wanted the Green Hulk, so I stopped it. Well, anyway, I came across the whole run really, really cheap, so I picked it up for less than $1 an issue. You know what? I'll give it a shot. I had already read the first few issues, but I started from one and read through all of them again, as it starts with the mysterious thought of who is the Red Hulk. Who really is this guy? Though I think it was pretty obvious, but they tried to throw you off by pointing you in some directions, and then the one guy that you mainly would probably think it is, they tried to say, oh, he died, to throw you off. Well, remember, this is comics. Who really dies in comics, right? So you still didn't 100% buy that. And I was right on who it was. So that was good. So anyway, overall, the story, I think, started actually really strong. And with that mysterious link of, who is he? And Hulk was Red Hulk was brutal as could be. He was taking on Thor. He took out the Green Hulk. He even punched a Watcher. So, it was a little overkill. They really, I think, oversold his power because, they made him out to be working with the intelligentsia, and it really pointed him as a bad guy, when ultimately his goal was, good intentions just chose a bad path, I guess, to get there. Thunderbolt Ross had focused too much maybe on Bruce Banner, and the Hulk had tunnel vision and allowed it to cloud his judgment. So that was the first story arc, him going through that and ultimately not succeeding. But what it is his own group turned on him too, that he was with, and so he went against them and took them down. And then what we went on from there was a redemption arc of him redeeming himself. And that was, if you looking back, it was pretty interesting seeing him go from, he's this bad threat, to trying to redeem himself, realizing he went about the wrong way of doing what he thought was the right thing. And so he did that. He had Captain America, at the time as not as Captain America, but as Steve Rogers, also giving him the nod and giving him a chance. Because, and that's one of the cool things about the Avengers, too. Avengers is a team of chance. If you made a mistake, they might give you a second chance there to make amends for what you did wrong. And so that's what he did. He was pretty much given a deal to redeem himself. And at that point, that started pretty good. And then, as a lot of runs do, when they sort of get towards the end, they are not as good. And I will say it wasn't as good, but it was actually a pretty good run all the way through. Another thing you got to see in that was Machine Man. Machine Man's another character that just never really gets much attention. He doesn't get his own book much. And maybe he's very, with a good reason. He might not be able to carry a book very good. He's not even the most popular android. He's often compared to things like Vision and things like that, which supposedly he's more sophisticated than the Vision and Ultron, but I don't know. Anyway, I find him somewhat interesting a character. Matter of fact, if you find him an interesting character, another place that you can read Machine Man was Volume 2 of Ms. Marvel. He was in that, as well as Simon Williams' Wonder Man. So if you can't get enough of those characters, you can check them out in that book as well. Anyway, he helped finish out the run with the Red Hulk on the Redemption arc, sort of working together. And overall, it was pretty good. So if you do get a chance to get that book cheap, that series, you might want to pick it up. The artwork is fairly strong throughout. I liked it. There are some controversial artists in there, like Patrick Zircher, which I will say his artwork in it was probably one of the least good. So, oops, sorry Zircher, but that's in my opinion. It depends on your art style and opinion there. But I thought the art overall, even with Zircher and stuff too, was not bad. It was never bad in the book. So the art was pretty strong. The stories were pretty decent. So overall, I'm going to give the series a C+. So if you can snag it cheap, Red Hulk, I would suggest maybe checking it out. Sorry about that. I still have my little bit of cough here. For the ones of you know that I've been a little bit under the weather lately, I'm still coming out of that. It's been an interesting time period. What can I say? All right, guys. Well, that's this little road rage here. I hope you enjoyed it. And once again, if you want to check out some back issues, because Marvel's just not been very good right now, that might be one worth giving a quick read if you can get it for pretty cheap. All right, until next time, keep it frugal.